Welcome to Squarebox Games and welcome to the Unmatched Season 2 draft. We're really excited to be here. We had a great first season with lots of good fighters, right?
Oh yeah, so we had 8 awesome fighters going back and forth, but Robin Hood was the champion. He defeated Sinbad in the championship, which I didn't know that was going to happen.
I thought Sinbad would win.
And to be frank, he might have had a little help along the way with some of the cheating. But we are ready for Season 2, which we're going to have a little bit of a mix of some of the fighters we saw last season and some newcomers that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, so similar to Season 1, we're going to have a total of 8 fighters. They're going to be matched up. We're going to have them face off, and then the victors of each of those games is going to get a chance to battle and continue on to go to the championship game. So, why don't we dive in and take a look at what fighters we're going to have matching up this season. All right, for our first matchup, we're going to have the returning champion, Robin Hood, facing off against who?
Muldoon and the engine workers from Jurassic Park.
All right. I'm excited to see this happen. You know, Robin Hood finished up the last season as the champion. I think it's only fair to have him return and take the first game, see who he faces, and I think it's going to be kind of interesting here because Muldoon's different than we've seen before. We haven't seen him in Season 1. Yeah,
so we did have some other ranged fighters, I think, in Season 1, but Robin Hood took care of anybody he went up against pretty handedly as well. Muldoon's a force to be reckoned with. He has 8 traps that can be set all around the board, as well as 3 engine workers that he can summon back, kind of like Robin Hood's Outlaw. So that's going to be another match where there are a lot of characters on the board. And especially in a 2-player map, I think it's going to get pretty crowded.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we had 2 ranged fighters face off in Season 1, did we?
I don't remember, to be honest.
You know what? I don't either, but I'm excited to say that this may be our first ranged competitive battle. So,
at least the first ranged competitive battle in Season 2
that we can remember. All right, for our next matchup, we're going to have King Arthur versus Sun Wukong.
Yes.
Wow.
The Monkey King.
The Monkey King versus
King Arthur still.
King Arthur.
So, what's interesting about these two, they're both melee characters. Now, King Arthur is regarded as one of the weakest fighters in the game, maybe apart from the Buffy the Vampire fighters. But he does have Merlin with him, who is ranged and has some powerful cards. Now, his ability lets him boost his attacks. Unfortunately, because he came out early on in the game, they hadn't kind of worked out a lot of those mechanics. That boost happens before the attack, so as a defender, you really have kind of an advantage to know when those attacks are going to happen. Now, Sun Wukong, he came later on in the game. He's really interesting because his sidekicks are not really sidekicks. They are clones of himself.
Oh, wow.
So all of his cards can be played by his sidekicks. So what he likes to do is kind of throw the sidekicks in the way, let them battle out with the enemy as he kind of stays back, and then he can jump in as need be. So it should be a good matchup, but I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. I think Sun Wukong's probably going to take it.
Yeah, I think with even Merlin being sort of a ranged ally here, I really think you're right. Sun Wukong, you essentially have multiple Sun Wukongs on the board. That could get a little dicey for old King Arthur.
I mean, Arthur isn't a necessarily instant loss if the player knows how to play it. Well, and obviously you've got some luck, but he is one of the weaker ones, so that's going to be a tough matchup for him. We'll see what happens.
Okay, for our third matchup, we're going to have the Tyrannosaurus Rex from Jurassic Park going up against Bigfoot. Now, I think Bigfoot was one of our earlier fighters that we had in Season 1, so we didn't get to see a whole lot, but I really like the T-Rex. I really do. Lots of aggression here, lots of attack power, can attack from 2 spaces away, and just a really cool figure to have out on the board. But we haven't seen a whole lot of Bigfoot, so what can we expect from Bigfoot here?
I mean, Bigfoot, he's known to be a top-tier character. He's got some super strong attack cards, and the Jackalope, his sidekick, is pretty nifty as well. So unfortunately, he did lose, and I think he was against a ranged opponent. I can't quite remember. But melee versus melee, the T-Rex against Bigfoot, it's going to be a clash of the titans. I know technically Bigfoot isn't a large character, but he does have a large presence on the field. So this is going to be an up-close battle where they're going to go head-to-head. You have to play aggressive as the T-Rex. She draws out of her cards real fast. But Bigfoot, he can stay with her. So it's going to be interesting to see which one of those is going to duke it out to be the champion of that match.
Yeah, I'm definitely really looking forward to this matchup. 2 powerful characters. I think it's going to be an absolute slugfest.
I can't wait for it.
And for our final matchup for season 2, we have Achilles going against Sherlock Holmes. Now, I have not played as Achilles yet, so I don't really know a whole lot about him, but what I can say is these characters seem to just be on two different sides of history. We have an ancient and a modern character. One of the things I absolutely love about Unmatched is you can just get people from all across the board. So why don't you throw us some facts here about Achilles so we can maybe get a little bit of information on how he might play.
Yeah, most certainly. So Achilles comes from the Battle of Legends Volume 2 pack, which is known for some really strong characters. Sun Wukong is actually from that as well. So we'll have 2 representatives from that box. But I think Achilles may be the strongest character from that box, and he's top tier up there with Bigfoot. So what he does, he's got his sidekick that has some good cards in of itself, but when that sidekick dies, Achilles' rage comes out and he gets stronger. His attack values increase for his cards, but you really want to time when that sidekick dies, because if he dies too early, you're not going to be able to use any of the great cards he has. So you're kind of wanting to throw the sidekick out as a defensive shield at some point, and your opponent knows, like, I'm probably gonna have to kill the sidekick and just deal with Achilles being stronger. There's no way around it. So that's gonna be a good matchup. But Sherlock Holmes, he's a little bit trickier to play. You have to be a little more knowledgeable or well versed in the game, because he can look into opponents' cards. You can name certain cards that your opponents have.
Okay.
And either discard them or change values and stuff. So he really excels with players that know their opponent's hands.
Okay, kind of using that investigation that Sherlock Holmes might actually really use.
Yes, and he comes from the Cobble and Fog pack, which is probably, I think, the most well-regarded pack in the game. So these are 2 really good fighters. I haven't seen them face each other before, so I'm actually really excited to see what these last 2 are gonna do.
All right, so that is the board here for season 2 of Unmatched. So let's talk about what we're kind of looking forward to here. You know, one of the things I think I'm looking forward to is the ranged game. Those tend to be a little slower, you know, because they're not up against each other. It's harder to play aggressive, but you know, I kind of want to see Robin Hood win. I kind of want to see him go deep into the tournament. I like that. I like winners.
Nope, I'm gonna stop you right there. We've had enough Robin Hood. He's cheated like 3 times. I don't want to see him continue. I want to see some new characters get in here and let it be their time to shine.
Okay.
And frankly, Muldoon is one of my favorite characters. Luckily, I'm going to get to play as him in this first game, so I'm super excited to just destroy Robin Hood.
Destroy him. Wipe him right off the mat. I also am really excited for this T-Rex and Bigfoot showdown. I just love the idea of these 2 massive creatures going head to head. I like that idea. I really like the T-Rex, just really unique character, being able to attack from far away, and then Bigfoot being able to move across the map. I think it's going to be an interesting showdown. It might even come to like running out of cards or something like that.
It could. Bigfoot's actually one of the reasons I got into this game in the first place. When I saw they were making Jurassic Park and Bigfoot in the same game, I'm like, I'm gonna buy both of these, and now we get to see them fight each other with the T-Rex.
Yeah, that's kind of our dream as kids, to see these crazy characters that would never be in the same universe kind of go against each other and sort of say who would win.
Oh yeah.
So what characters and what matchups are you kind of thinking here would be interesting?
You know, I've only played a Sherlock once. It was before I even owned the pack, so I'm excited to play with him again. And Achilles and Sun Wukong are both pretty new characters to me as well, that I haven't played as much as some of the older characters, so I think they're going to be pretty fun to play with. And I know you haven't played with a few of them, so I'm really interested to see like how the matchup goes against you specifically. But I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. It's going to be a good matchup, and I think this is going to be even more fun than season 1.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's going to be that way. We've got a really diverse character pool here. I know we've pulled stuff from a lot of different boxes.
Yeah, so we actually have 6 different boxes represented right here. Battle of Legends Volume 1 and 2, both Jurassic Park sets, Bigfoot and Robin Hood, and then Cobble and Fog. So a lot of diversity here. We're gonna switch up the maps and stuff too. I think we generally try to stick to 2-player maps. So we've got a few in the rotation that we can use. So it's gonna be exciting. I'm really excited to see these new characters fight it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm excited to destroy you in this game.
We'll have to see who wins and becomes the champion. Okay, season 2 is set. Thank you for joining us on this special draft episode of Squarebox Games. If you like this and you're excited to see these things in season 2, you know what you can do. That's right.
Hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely. Hit the subscribe button and rub that notification bell so that you know when these matches are going down, you gotta rub it right now. And you know what else you could do?
Leave a comment, you know? Let us know who you're excited for, who you think is gonna win these matchups, and most importantly, let us know who you think the champion's gonna be for Season 2.
I think it's gonna be Robin Hood. Dynasty, baby, Dynasty. All right, have a good one, guys.